Fuck's sakes. Have you guys seen my last video? I posted a bet. It was for this week's card. I had Volkanovski, Whittaker, and Jack Della Maddalena, of course, with my luck. Fucking Sean Brady pulls out, of course, because he was going to get starched. And I had Jack Della Maddalena at minus 188 odds. Now they got him some new fighter, and he's going to completely probably destroy him. And he's like minus 1,000 now. So completely fucked me for that parlay. Now I just got Volk and Reaper on there. Hopefully I'm going to cash that out so I can add one more on there. And yeah, let's get straight to it, man. So Alex Volkanovski, probably the pound for pound number one guy in the world, taking on Yair Rodriguez, Mexico's finest. Hopefully Mexico can get another one done, but most likely not. So, the difference here is you can see already is the height advantage. 5'11", 5'6", but Volkanovski doesn't seem to really phase him. Who's better striker on the feet? I would say it's pretty close. I mean, Yair's definitely got the more dynamic kicks. Volkanovski's probably got the heavier hands, great calf kicks as well, and he's fast. He throws a lot of feints. He's a great striker. He's, that fight with Makhachev, I thought he was going to get destroyed by Makhachev. This guy came out and looked outstanding against Makhachev. Some people thought he won. Now, some being said is, how is he going to come back after that? Is he going to just be like super confident? Oh, I can go up to 155, beat up people there. And now he's not really training hard for Yair because he thinks he's just going to run through Yair. If you notice, Alex Volkanovski, a lot of his camps he was doing in Thailand, right? Especially for that Islam fight. He did that camp in Thailand. Now he's not training in Thailand. He's back in Australia. So I don't know if you're going to get the same Alex Volkanovski that you've been getting, And I'll tell you right now, Yair Rodriguez is hungry. He's coming off, fantastic wins over Josh Emmett, Ortega. He had a great fight with Max Holloway. Lost the fight, but it was a close one. That was, other than Volkanovski, that was probably Max Holloway, one of his toughest tests. Not moving up to 155, obviously, but Yair is for real dynamic striker. Got great subs off his back. This is going to be a great fight, and no means do I think Alex is going to be able to just slice through Yair with ease, but I do think he does beat him everywhere. That's hard to bet against Volkanovski, man. Especially after that last performance, you're going to bet against Volkanovski. There's a reason why he's minus 450 and on this minus 400, but on my betting website it's minus 450. I think he should just be able to handle Yair, probably win every round, or at least 4-1 unanimous decision. In my opinion, I would think this fight probably goes to decision, and I think Volkanovski's probably going to get it done. Because Yair's tough Mexican, man. These Mexicans are tough. They're hard to finish. He's got great submissions, tough chin. I think he's going to take the beating for all 5 rounds and just get dominated. All right, Brandon Moreno takes on Pantoja. The rubber match, because they fought 3 times, right? One was on the Ultimate Fighter, one in the UFC, and all of those times Pantoja came out on top. Now, this is the best Brandon Moreno we've seen. His last loss came to Figueiredo, was a unanimous decision, but then after that, he looked great. He actually beat Figueiredo. They've had, I don't know how many fights now, so he's taking on Pantoja. Pantoja has been looking outstanding. His last loss came to Askar Askarov, who also had a tough fight with Brandon Moreno, I believe. I think it was a did he fight? It was a draw. That's what it was. So he had a draw. Askar Askarov did with Brandon Moreno. He beat Alex Pantoja. But since then, he's been on a roll. He also has a loss to Davison Figueiredo. No shame losing to Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno also has a loss to Figueiredo, but he also has a win, or 2 wins over Figueiredo as well. I think I'm going to go with Pantoja. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. This could go either way. I just think he might have Brandon Moreno's number. I think he might have Brandon Moreno's number. It's a reason why they're such close in odds. They fought similar opponents, and he's been looking good. Pantoja, he's going to be training his ass off for this fight. This is his last chance probably to get a title shot. I think he's going to be coming in there more hungrier than Brandon Moreno. I think he's going to be training harder than Brandon Moreno. So I'm going with Pantoja on this one. Pantoja by decision or by submission. Brandon Moreno's got good submission defense. I'm assuming it's probably going to decision. But who knows? They say after you get the title, you're able to step it up even more. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Brandon Moreno. Robert Whittaker taking on Dricus Duplessis. Robert Whittaker, by far, the number one middleweight not named Adesanya. If it wasn't for Adesanya, this guy would be the champ of that division like he was before. Fortunately, Adesanya is just a bad matchup for him. But man, look at his matchup with Marvin Vettori. He dominated Marvin Vettori, dominated Jared Cannonier, and these are the top guys in that division. And Reaper's just embarrassing these guys. Dricus Duplessis on the other hand, he has been looking good. He's weird. He breathes out his mouth. I know he had like a nose issue that might have got fixed, so we'll see that. But he beat Darren Till by RNC. Okay, not bad. Beat Brunson. Brunson hasn't looked the same. He's like 40 years old now. He was, it got finished. It was a corner stoppage. So, this guy's on a roll. Don't get me wrong. Dricus Duplessis is on a roll. 19 wins, 2 losses, 7 fights in a row. Africa's number one fighter. Yeah, man. I think they're gonna want to push this guy because of the whole I'm the real African guy. He's a white African dude, and it pisses off all the black people that they're like, what the fuck? He's not African. No, this guy is African. He's from South Africa. Most people don't know, but Africa actually has a lot of white people there. But yeah, so it's just a story to get behind. I mean, Whittaker wins. You could do the third match, but he's already lost 2. It's just weird. And then if he beats Adesanya, now you got to do a 4th match because Adesanya won the first 2. It's pointless. We want new blood in there, right? I want to see Hamzat fight for the title. Obviously, he's having visa issues, whatever that may be, but I think Reaper should just slice through Dricus Duplessis. So I'm going Robert the Reaper Whittaker all day. Jalen Turner taking on Dan Hooker. Now, if this fight was a few years ago, I probably would have took Dan Hooker. If this was the Dan Hooker that fought Gilbert Burns at 155, Dan Hooker all day. Dan Hooker has not looked the same, man. It just has not looked the same, and Jalen Turner has been looking really good. Yeah, he does have a problem with, really good grapplers like Matt Favola out-grappled him. Mateus Gamrot was, got rocked a couple times, but was able to out-grapple Jalen Turner, and I just think this is going to be a striking matchup. I think, that being said, Hangman is a great striker. He'll hang in there with anybody. I see this fight definitely going to a decision as well. I don't think you're going to be knocking out Dan Hooker. I don't know if Dan Hooker is going to knock out Jalen Turner, but at the same time, I don't want to bet against Dan Hooker in a stand-up match. Dan Hooker can strike, man. This guy trains with Eugene Behrman and those boys, Izzy, Adesanya, and Volk. Like, they got a good team, and he's a great striker. The fact that he's minus 250, what is he not training for this fight? I don't understand why he's such a huge underdog. Because, Dan Hooker's coming off a great win himself. Body kick finish over Claudio Poloy. So, interesting that he's such a big underdog. Bo Nickel, the biggest favorite on the card, as he should be, was supposed to be fighting Trayshawn Gore. Trayshawn Gore pulled a Sean Brady, did the right thing. I do not want another loss on my record, and why would you? And fighting Bo Nickel is pretty much an auto loss because that guy is an insane grappler. I mean, you've seen him grapple with Gordon Ryan. He got triangled, but he's no joke, man. This guy can wrestle his ass off. Probably, one of the highest level wrestlers in MMA currently. And he's taking on Valentin Woodburn. Haven't seen much of this guy. It's his first fight in the UFC, and they're putting him against Bo Nickel. I mean, who is this guy's coach or manager that agreed to take this fight on short notice? On a week short notice, you're going to fight Bo Nickel? Bro, you're going to get murdered. That being said, this guy does have a bunch of finishes in the first round, second round. But who's he fighting? Now you're fighting Bo Nickel. This guy, I think that he's gonna get submitted. Bo Nickel's gonna take him down, submit him. First, second round, easy work for Bo Nickel, and the odds pretty much stay the same. Robbie Lawler is still doing the damn thing. Age 41. Wow, age 41, doing the damn thing. Taking on Nico Price. Nico Price actually had a good fight. His last fight with Phil Rowe. Lost in the third round, but was actually doing really good in that fight. He's only got one win in his last 4 fights, and the UFC actually loves Nico Price because he puts on great performance. And win or lose, this guy comes out and performs in always great, fucking exciting fights. Love Nico Price. Taking on, the legends, one of my favorites from back in the day, Robbie Lawler. Unfortunate for Robbie Lawler is he's 41 years old, and I think he's just probably going to do 1 or 2 more fights and call it a night because how many more can you really do? He got knocked out by Brian Barberena his last fight. It was just horrible. Just horrible performance. Yeah, he beat, Nick Diaz, who hasn't fought in years, but how many losses does this guy have? 3. So he's got 5 losses in his last 6 fights, and his only win was to Nick Diaz, who's been retired for years. Time's up for Robbie Lawler. Nico Price gonna smoke him. I think Nico Price gonna finish Robbie Lawler. I really do. Now, Jack Della Maddalena, not only did he get a new opponent, but he slid down the card as well. I think he was higher up on the card. And now he's pretty low on the prelims, fighting Josiah Harrell, 7-0, which is impressive. You're undefeated. Who knows how good this guy is if he's undefeated? But that being said, Jack Della Maddalena is for real. And, the poor guy, this Josiah guy, his first fight in the UFC. Now you're fighting Jack Della Maddalena. But this guy's impressive. He's on a 13-fight win streak. Hasn't even lost in the amateur leagues. Damn. And he's a lot of finishes. A lot of finishes. And I hate betting against undefeated fighters. But, his last fight, he beat Mike Roberts. But Mike Roberts is, 9 wins, 9 losses? Like, he's a 50-50 fighter, man. Now you're fighting Jack Della, who's on a roll in the UFC. Just been knocking people senseless. Heavy hands. Probably some of the heaviest hands for that division. You see when he hit Randy Brown was just like, what in the hell was that? So I think Jack Della Maddalena smokes Josiah Harrell because you're fighting short notice. That's going to be tough. Let's see here. Jimmy Crute doing the damn thing. Came in the UFC with a lot of hype, undefeated, looking great. And then he fought Misha Serkinov and got Peruvian necktied. And then after that Modestas Bukauskas fight, right, he got Peruvian necktied, got caught in 2019. Came off 2 straight wins right after that, but then his last 2 fights, he's just been looking horrendous. Last 3 fights, he has not looked good. Sorry. He lost to Anthony Smith. There was that leg injury. Then he got just viciously KO'd by Jamal Hill, who's the current champ in that division. Had a draw with Alonzo Menefield, and now rematch with Alonzo Menefield. I'll go with Jimmy Crute. I think he's definitely the better fighter out of the 2, but who knows where this guy's head at. But, technique, skill, talent, I think Jimmy Crute is the better fighter out of the 2. Tatsuro Taira on the early prelims. I mean, all these top up and comers are trying to hide them on the prelims so they can just build up that resume, because that's exactly what this fight is for Tatsuro Taira. It's just a resume builder. Edgar Chairez is gonna get smoked, dude. I've been telling you about this Tatsuro Taira guy. He was supposed to fight, I think, 2 UFCs ago. His opponent pulled out, so they rescheduled it, and he's gonna just smoke this guy. Vitor Petrino takes on Marcin Prachnio. This Vitor guy's for real, undefeated, tons of finishes. He only had 1 fight in the UFC to Anton Turkalaj. But he's been looking good, undefeated. So taking on Marcin Prachnio. Marcin had a great performance his last fight against William Knight. Before that, he lost to Felipe Lins. He's also got a win over Khalil Roundtree. I just think I'm gonna go with this Vitor guy. I don't know. I haven't seen too much of Vitor, but Marcin Prachnio, he's okay. He's decent. He's got some good wins. All right, this is the last one I'll do. Cameron assigned this kid right here. He's another kid from South Africa, or sorry, Pretoria. He's from Pretoria, South Africa. Another white dude from Africa, and he's only 21 or 22 years old on a 13 fight win streak, undefeated. Has not lost in the amateurs, undefeated in the amateurs, undefeated as a pro. He's had 2 fights in the UFC, one on the Contender Series. He's just been smoking guys, and now he's fighting Terrence Mitchell. And I think, 22 years old, they're going to try to build the brand, right? Build this kid's resume. Why would you give him just a tough opponent and he just gets knocked out and you just ruin this kid's career at only 21 or 22, right? So I think this kid is a type of person you're probably going to want to put on your. The guy he's fighting is not bad too. Terrence Mitchell's not bad. Lost to Kai Car France, but has been on a win streak. He's fighting in Alaska Combat though. His last few fights, I mean, the level of competition isn't really the same. So I'll go with Cameron on that one. I think they're going to try to build him up. If you guys need a place to bet, you already know BetUS, promo code Iceman. Let's try to hammer the bookies this weekend, boys. This is the one. Volkanovski, Whittaker, I think those guys should be easy wins. Whittaker for sure. I think Whittaker smokes Dricus. I think Volkanovski should smoke Yair. The question is, who else am I going to add on there just to even out, right? Am I going to throw Tyra or Cameron on there? Because I want to do a 3-play with those guys. Because I think Volkanovski should smoke them. Whittaker should smoke them. So, yeah, we'll see, man. All right. Good luck this weekend. Let's get it out.